Let's watch Kyle Kulinski talk about Gavin Newsom being out of fucks to give.
To my surprise, y'all, Gavin Newsom has been laser focused on Trump's overreach and abuses and authoritarianism in the wake of the protests in LA, and then Trump federalizing the National Guard, and then Trump sending the Marines in, and then sending more Marines in. I mean, this is all, and by the way, this is all laid out in Project 2025. They want to do the Insurrection Act, do martial law, basically make this country a police state, ban free speech, ban free protest. And this is...
For all the people that were like, Project 2020, what was it, Anna Kasparian? He doesn't know anything about it. Anna Kasparian, somebody needs to... Well, I guess somebody already has been dragging her ass, right? Like, she's already been drugged. That girl over there, Emma Vigilant, right? She already drug her ass. I know multiple people have, but you can't... Like, don't stop dragging her ass over that shit. Oh, he didn't know about Project 2025. Dude, these people, this is the shit. This is what I'm saying to you guys. When I say that the right says things to you to get you to stop talking about them because they're afraid that you're talking about them, that's what I mean. Is the right says to you, he doesn't know anything about Project 2025. Not because they believe that shit, but because they don't want you to believe what you're saying. They want you to question it. They know that you'll think about it. They know that you'll self-analyze. They know that you'll criticize people in your own party for saying something if they don't completely know it's true. Like, they don't want you talking about Project 2025. They don't want you talking about the fact that these people are actually following through with this shit. They're going to call you a conspiracy theorist. They're going to say he doesn't know anything about it. But you can prove it. Just fucking open the goddamn book and point to the relevant fucking paragraph.
The canary in the coal mine. This is like instance number one where they're going to do it. And then
the Vanguard
they plan on doing more
LB.
illegal
Vanguard
ICE
too.
raids with masked thugs going after innocent people in every major Democratic city. Then that'll lead to protests. Then that'll lead to Trump deploying more U.S. military in U.S. streets. And we are off to the fucking races. And so, to my surprise, Gavin has been laser focused on this and just going hard in the paint at the right. And you love to see it. So we got quite a few examples of that here. Let's start. This interview came...
One of my favorites, if you guys have never seen that video of Trump meeting Newsom at the airport after the LA fires, and there's this picture of Newsom shaking Trump's hand and sticking his finger in Trump's chest at the same time. And I was like, uh-oh. That goes one way or another. Like, Trump sees that picture, you're his enemy for life, right? Like, you're his enemy for life. So that either goes one way or another. That is either Newsom's got the balls to follow up with this shit, or he's going to get torched. And I think Newsom does have the balls to follow up for it. Like I said, I'm concerned about his corporate interests.
Came out, I believe it was right when we learned that Trump is sending or federalizing the National Guard, and this may have been either immediately after or just before he sent in the Marines. So here we go. Let's listen to what he says.
I'm inside the Emergency Operations Center run by the County of Los Angeles here with Governor Gavin Newsom. Governor, thanks for joining us live on MSNBC.
Good to be with you.
So this is, as I said, the Emergency Operations Center. I wonder how you would characterize the events that are unfolding in Los Angeles right now. Is it an emergency? Is it Fox News is calling it the LA riots? Is it a peaceful protest? What's happening?
Yeah, and here's the thing. Like, I started off this video by saying that not all protests should be peaceful. But they're 100% over-exaggerating how widespread this is. Now, it could be pretty widespread soon. I just saw that Detroit has them now. Chicago has some now. And I'm super proud of those fucking people. I'm proud as fuck that those people are standing up to these ICE agents and saying, nah, you ain't doing this. I'm like, those people need your support, so keep supporting them. But, like, to act like Los Angeles is on fire, you know you full of shit, dude. If you ever been to Los Angeles, you know the places these are at. You know that this is not some kind of gigantic ass fucking riot going on. It's not even close. It's not even close.
And we've seen.
Well, I mean, look, Donald Trump has created the conditions you see on your TV tonight. He's exacerbated the conditions. He's, lit the proverbial match. He's putting fuel on this fire ever since he announced he was taking over the National Guard. An illegal act, an immoral act, an unconstitutional act, and we're going to test that theory with a lawsuit tomorrow.
Well, I was going to ask you that. Sorry to interrupt you, but Governor, so that's news. If you're going to sue the administration, tell me a little bit about it. Give us a preview of this lawsuit.
Well, under his executive order, it specifically notes, and under what the DOD did, is they had to coordinate with the governor of the state. They never coordinate with the governor of the state.
So, and that's all good. I don't mind. Like I said, I don't mind making the attempts at doing this the right way. But at one point or another, you got to say to yourself, like, are we going to follow the rules while they don't? Or are we going to put our foot down and say, fuck that shit? You know, like, you want to play this way, then we play this way. You know, that's 100%. Troy says the Marines aren't on the ground yet from what I hear, but I hear they're getting ready. The Marines being there at all is crazy. Absolutely bullshit. Like, the idea that the Marines are in an American city right now, like, that's fucking insane, man. Look, like I said, when I think about police officers and the lack of training they have, the type of people that seek out the job, I've seen before that there's statistics that say that it's more likely that a police officer will kill a civilian than a military person will kill somebody on their own soil, right? So I still have belief in the Marines, but they shouldn't be there. They shouldn't be there. Like, this is like the type of thing that can't be understated. People should, if you're not looking at the Marines being deployed in the United States of America against American citizens as being a bad thing, then you're either fucking stupid or you're drinking the Kool-Aid. You're brainwashed. Because there should never, ever be a time where our military is in one of the states in our country and they are policing our people. That's bad. Like I said, as much as I actually think the military is less trigger happy than the police are, it still sets a precedent that should not be set. Like, we can talk about what needs to happen with police officers when they cross those lines. But if we get to a point where we're forgiving our military for doing things to our civilians, we've lost the fucking plot, man. Like, that's the end of times right there for America. You can't do that. You can't cross that line, and that's what I'm saying. So we can play this peaceful bullshit. We can play by the rules. We can sue the administration, all of those things. And you know what? If we see some type of forward movement with that, then good things. Good things. I like to see that. That's the best possible route we can take. But if it doesn't work and we start seeing the military deployed in California, it will be our job to expel them. It will be. That's just going to end up being what it is. And what that's going to end in is our military and our police force against our citizens. Because we will be the people expelling these people from our state, from our private property. That's not a place that America should ever be. And it's fucking insane that anybody would be okay with this. Anybody.
I've worked with the National Guard. We've deployed the National Guard. We did 3,000+ folks have been doing logistics work and fire recovery work, and they're fighting the fires, the rattlesnake teams. We did the same back in George Floyd. We have no problem working collaboratively in a mutual aid system with local law enforcement, but there's a protocol, there's a process. He didn't care about that. And the worst part, he completely lied. He said in a tweet that everything's now safe, everything's fine. Is that the case, Mr. Trump? He said because he deployed the National Guard. The Guard hadn't even been deployed when he said this. It's Orwellian. Simply lying to people. Unconstitutional.
Yep, because they'll never look it up. They'll never look into it.
Illegal act. His mess. We're trying to clean it up.
You're saying that the President of the United States has made the situation on the ground here in Los Angeles less safe. What do you know about immigration enforcement today? Has there been any ICE raids in the city today? Are they coordinating with you on that at all? They giving you a heads?
They're raiding the farms right now. How fucking dumb is that? They're raiding the farms right now. You know how many people come through here and work in here and then return to Mexico? Like, that have been doing this for generations, that our government has facilitated them doing this, and we're going to remove those workers? I cannot get over how fucking stupid you guys are. And I'm not talking about my viewers. I'm talking about the people that believe Trump. Like, if you think grocery prices are going down. By the way, CPI just came out. Guess what? Fucking spoiler alert. Grocery prices didn't go down. The only thing that is going down right now, and the only thing that is continuing to keep CPI from inflating to an insane number, is that gas prices continue to go down. egg prices are still 100% plus what they were year over year, and over 250% plus over the 5-year average. Eggs going from $6 a carton to $4.50 a carton is not a win. And just so you know, I work in the grocery industry. The shrinkflation is starting again. I just got a notice from a product, from a vendor, that used to be a 6.5 ounce package that went to a 5 ounce package during COVID that is now going to a 4 ounce package. You are getting 50% less product, and you are paying the same price to keep you convinced that that fucking vendor never raised its prices. You are stupid if you think that getting rid of the immigrants that have been doing the farm work in our country for God knows how fucking long is going to bring down grocery prices. You are a moron. I cannot understate that. You are an idiot.
Of course, they're not coordinating. That said, we were told in just a recent briefing just a few minutes ago there was small activity in the county and not in the city proper. But look, you made a point a moment ago. These images are unacceptable. These kids on the car, the folks that are taking advantage of this, these aren't peaceful protesters. A lot of these folks, a lot of great people out there doing the right thing. But you get these surging groups coming in, sort of these anarchists that are in there to create real problems. And they're just playing right into Donald Trump's hand. And they need to be called out. They need to be arrested. It is wrong to destroy other people's property. And it is wrong to create the conditions that...
The one thing I will say, and I will continue to say about protests when they're not peaceful, stop burning down your own shit. Burn down their shit. Don't burn down the Target that your uncle works at, man.
That only exacerbate this, but Donald Trump, at the end of the day, is the sponsor of these conditions.
Let me give you the opportunity. You mentioned that there are people out there causing mischief and mayhem. What's your message to those people who are out there tonight? Not the peaceful protesters that are out there protesting for the rights of immigrants, but for the people that are doing damage to buildings, to law enforcement.
Well, they're doing more than damage to buildings and to property. They're potentially damaging the very foundation of our republic.
And this is what I'm saying. This is what I don't like about Newsom, and I don't like about a lot of the establishment politicians that still inundate the left. Is I know you got a job to do. I know a part of being a leader is keeping a level head and presenting the best possible example. But there needs to be some fire here. There needs to be some, people are upset. That's why shit's getting broken. People are upset. That's why they're getting in cops' faces. There needs to be recognition by people like Gavin Newsom or Kamala Harris or whoever else, Walls, whoever, that the reason that not every single person out there that fucking is breaking a cop's window is, some malcontent. Some of them have a fucking reason for why they're upset. And if you can't recognize why those people are upset, then you're going to be failing when it comes to taking care of all your constituents, because those people are your constituents too.
The democracy.
Yeah, the Waymos, maybe not the Waymos venture.
I mean, you're seeing these authoritarian tendencies now being acted out by this administration. And we're case in point Waymos, as it relates to nationalizing, federalizing the National Guard, threatening now to put in Marines. So I hope these people would pause.
So this was before, and then he did put the Marines in. Holy shit.
And just consider. Now, some of them, they want that kind of chaos. In some ways, they're adjacent to where Donald Trump is. But the peaceful protesters, we want to keep them safe. We want them to exercise their fundamental rights. We want to keep those that are enforcing the laws in a respectful and responsible way also safe. But Donald Trump needs to pull back.
So that's good the way he said that. Those that are enforcing the laws that are respectful. Because that's the other side of it. Because you don't get to be disrespectful because you have a badge on your chest. You are the person that's supposed to lead by example. And there are too many fucking videos now of these police officers shooting peaceful protesters because they got annoyed. There's too many videos of these police officers that have ripped their fucking name off of their helmet and covered their badge numbers. That shit needs to stop. That's the kind of shit that if you want to tell people, hey, you should be more peaceful in your protesting, you should be careful about what you're doing, then you can't have the other side agitating. Like I said, you can't tell a person to be peaceful while pressing their fucking neck with your boot. That's not, to me, that's not an acceptable outcome. I'm not going to be peaceful with your boot on my neck. That's not going to happen.
He needs to stand down. Donald Trump is inflaming these conditions. This is Donald Trump's problem right now, and if he can't solve it, we will.
He continues to, as always, hit you hard publicly. Just 10 minutes ago, he put out another Truth Social telling you and the mayor to apologize to the people of Los Angeles. You guys go at it pretty hard publicly, but I know you talk privately. Have you spoken in the last couple of days to the president about any of this?
Yeah, we talked for almost 20 minutes, and this issue never came up. I kept trying to talk about L.A. He wanted to talk about all these other issues. We had a very decent conversation.
When was this?
This was late Friday.
Yeah, because he wants to press him. Because he doesn't want to talk about L.A. because he knows it's not an issue. Instead, he wants to talk about all these other things because he wants to press him. He wants to make Newsom feel that pressure of, hey, we want to talk about L.A., but he's not going to, because he's going to bring up instead what he thinks Newsom should have to do for him. So the reason he's bringing up these other things is because he's insinuating that Newsom should be doing these other things if he doesn't want Trump to escalate what's going on in L.A.
Friday night, I think about 1:30 plus his time.
After the protest had started.
After the protest, and he never once brought up the National Guard. He's a stone-cold liar. He said he did. Stone-cold liar. Never did. It was a very civil conversation. I've always wanted to approach engagement with the President of the United States in a respectful and responsible way. But there's no working with the President. There's only working for him. And I will never work for Donald Trump.
Did you mention at all to him in that phone call on Friday night the types of raids that were happening in your state on Friday? You know, there are reports that and video of enforcement operations happening in ways that they haven't traditionally. ICE officers going to Home Depots around Los Angeles and picking off day laborers. Did you bring that up with him?
The conversation started with the frame of what's happening in L.A. He immediately pivoted to other interests and other things.
Do you think he was aware of what was happening in Los Angeles?
I think I'm more than aware. And obviously, he was setting this up to take these additional steps.
This was a setup.
And I'm not saying he was setting things up. I'm not saying it was a setup. But clearly, they were in the process.
Pinkerbell, what a dumb timeline we live in, where presidential decree is delivered via Truth Social. I'm writing a book on it. I'm like five chapters into that book now. So I'm steaming along. The book is writing itself. Let me just tell you that. Would Gandhi or MLK torch a car, throw fireworks or rocks at the cops? MLK actually, towards the end of his life, was what is that quote? There's a quote from MLK about that sometimes violence is necessary. MLK was becoming more radicalized towards the end of his life when obviously he was assassinated, so he had a lot more to go. But obviously MLK was also a pretty level-headed individual. And that's what I'm saying is you need balance. There is a time to be physical. There is a time to push back. And there are times when you should think logically and critically. And like I said, that depends on where your line is drawn. I'll be honest with you. There ain't a time in my life that you will ever put your hands on somebody in my family or my friend group that you will not find me all up on top of you. Like, there is never going to be a time in my life that I will ever peacefully deal with a person putting their hands on one of my family members or my friends. And I don't care if that makes me immature. I don't care if that makes me the lesser person. At the end of the day, I'm not going to ever let somebody harm somebody that I love and then stand back and use the excuse that it's not the right thing to do to physically defend them. So my lines are pretty well drawn. I've said this since I was a young man. I said, you can say whatever you want to me. You can call me names. You can talk shit to me. But you ever put your hands on me, and you better be able to back that shit up. Like, and that's been my lines my whole life. And I'm sure that MLK had a line. I don't know about Gandhi. I don't know anything about Gandhi. I don't know anything about Gandhi. But you know, as far as MLK goes, yeah, I do believe, if I'm correct, I could be incorrect about this. Correct me if I'm wrong. Towards the end of his life before he was assassinated, he did say that you have to become more aggressive, more confrontational, that you can't just allow this shit to happen to people. Now, like I said, I could be wrong about that.
Of moving to these next steps, because out of nowhere, just a few hours after that conversation, he moves to pull the trigger under this construct under Title 10, and then created and exacerbated the conditions that are persisting today.
This is your authority normally to deploy the National Guard here. Right. You did it. We were together after the fires, and those National Guard troops have been out all across Los Angeles working to rebuild and recover this city. How did you find out that the President of the United States was going to usurp your authority and deploy your National Guard here in California?
I got a call from a staffer. No heads up whatsoever. And again, we're here to support local law enforcement. There's a mutual aid process. Local law enforcement had no needs. They were not requesting any additional resources. I've got 100 now. I have 175 CHP officers, technically trained officers, tactical teams to address Donald Trump's mess. We are here to support local law enforcement, the sheriff's office, LAPD, but they didn't need that support. He made this up. This is a manufactured crisis in order to get under the tent to start to stretch credulity and to begin the process of moving inevitably towards a constitutional questioning crisis.
Yeah, Venture, that's what he's saying. The whole situation is set up and made by Trump. Yeah, that's what this is about. Like I said, it's Project 2025. It's what Kyle said. This is not, like I said, you don't have to be fucking Always Sunny in Philadelphia and try and connect the dots. They spelled this shit out, and they did it in a good place. They put it in a book where MAGA supporters will never... You think Squirrel has ever read a fucking book in his life? No, of course not. He's never read a book in his whole fucking life. Like, you gotta recognize the smartest thing these people ever did was put their plans in books. Because these motherfuckers don't read.
Around posse comitatus, and it's, I think, inevitable. That's where he's going.
Tom Homan, the border czar, said to me yesterday he did not rule out literally arresting you, nor Mayor Bass, if you interfere in his work. You hadn't yet.
He's a tough guy. Why doesn't he do that? He knows where to find me. But you know what? Let your hands off 4-year-old girls that are trying to get educated.
Oh, shit.
Let your hands off these poor people who are just trying to live their lives, man. Trying to live their lives, paying their taxes, been here 10 years. The fear, the horror.
And what did Tom Homan say? Tom Homan was like, we probably won't. Because he knows fucking better. Dude, if they arrest Gavin Newsom, oh my God, you might as well just make him the fucking president. You might as well just go ahead and hand that shit over to him. If you arrest Gavin Newsom, his ass will 100% be the president in 2020. He might be in 2026.
The hell is this guy? Come after me, arrest me. Let's just get it over with. Tough guy. You know, I don't give a damn. But I care about my community. I care about this community. The hell are they doing? These guys need to grow up. They need to stop. And we need to push back. And I'm sorry to be so clear, but that kind of bloviating is exhausting. So, Tom, arrest me. Let's go.
I genuinely don't know where the other Democrats are. Like, where are the other... Like, so now he's got to take on this fight alone. Why? Because it has to do with...
Yeah, and this is something I said about the protests. I said if California is the only one protesting this shit, that's going to be super sad. Like, if that's where people at, if this is what I'm saying, is if, like, you're so sad, so scared of physical confrontation, if you're so scared of getting called out for not being the tolerant left, that you're not up in arms, because this ain't just happening in California. It just barely even fucking started here. Like, like, if you ain't in Chicago, mad. If you ain't in Detroit, mad. If you ain't in New York, mad. If you ain't in Washington, mad. Like, what the fuck is wrong? Like, where are the rest of these voices? And I just saw these TikTok influencers talking about this. They said during Black Lives Matter, there's all these, rappers talking about it. There was all these basketball players wearing shirts that say freedom and justice and BLM and all this shit. Where you at now, dog? And I'll tell you where they at. They're scared. They're scared as fuck, man. They don't want to do what I'm doing. They don't want to stand up here and tell you that sometimes shit won't be peaceful. That you have to get over your own inner criticisms. And every once in a while you got to push the boot off your neck because you ain't going to be able to silently just move it with your fucking mind like you're a Jedi. They don't want to sit up here and do this. They got Adidas contracts. They got, they got promotions from, across the fucking country. when you see some of these NFL teams saying, yo, we don't give a fuck, we're still going to do Pride Month, good on them. Good fucking on them. Because you know what? They're doing something right now that other people won't do. When you have baseball teams that are like, you know what? Fuck it. We're going to do it anyways. Good on them. And the most important thing is that you make sure that those people know that you support what they're doing, because you need those voices. But where are all the other people? Everybody else is floundering. That lady in Maine, she's tough as fuck. She said, come see me. And I'll tell you, the next place you're going to see Marines is probably in Maine. Because that lady looked Donald Trump dead off in his beady ass little eyes and said, you got a little dick and you ain't big enough to be fighting this fight. You can't ride this ride. Go sit your orange ass down over there. Because you can't ride this ride. You ain't tall enough. Not even with the lifts in your shoes.
California, because it's happening in LA. But Trump is already going to do it in other major Democratic cities. They're not going to stop. They're going to keep going. This is the model. The model is do illegal ICE raids that lead to backlash and protests, then send in the U.S. military to occupy our own streets and take away the rights of our own people.
That's insane.
So where the fuck are the other Democrats? All I see is him fighting back, and it's 1 versus 20 on the other side. All right, but there's more. Mike Johnson was asked about Newsom, and listen to what he said.
The president said, possibly in jest, that if he were Tom Homan, he would arrest Gavin Newsom. Do you believe that Newsom should face consequences in a legal way?
That's not my lane. I'm not going to give you legal analysis on whether Gavin Newsom should be arrested, but he ought to be tarred and feathered. I'll say that. I mean,
dude, Gavin Newsom will whoop Mike Johnson's ass.
Look, he's standing in the way of the administration and the carrying out of federal law. Right? He is applauding the bad guys and standing in the way of the good guys. He is trying to. He is.
See what I mean? They try to make it out like you should be the one that's ashamed. Who should be ashamed in this? Mike Johnson should be ashamed. He's a fucking traitor. He's a little fucking coward. And if he ever had to say that shit to Gavin Newsom's face, he'd buckle like a fucking lawn chair that you bought at Walmart on fucking sale. Like a cheap Chinese-made, fake-ass, not even aluminum, pot metal fucking lawn chair. He would fold because he ain't got no balls. Gavin Newsom would eat Mike Johnson's lunch. And then Mike Johnson would try and watch some gay porn with him.
He's a participant, an accomplice in our federal law enforcement agents being not just disrespected, but assaulted.
This is such
what
fucking
up, Jeremy?
horseshit. They're raiding meat packing facilities, and they're raiding elementary schools and graduations, and they're raiding Home Depots and 7-Elevens and hair salons, and they're rounding up innocent people with no criminal record. None. So when you go into the community with masked ICE Gestapo thugs with fucking Nazi tattoos, no badges, driving regular cars, and by the way, there are already copycat crimes that are happening as a direct result of the ICE agents wearing gaiters and having no badge and driving regular cars. Now people are pretending to be ICE agents and going on crime sprees because you guys laid this lawless groundwork.
Well, sounds like a reason to put the gun in my car.
Spare me with your fucking sanctimonious horseshit about you're getting away of the law. No, everything this regime is doing is flatly illegal. And they've been told time and time and time again by the courts. Trump invoked the Alien Enemies Act. 4 different courts now, including MAGA judges, have said, you can't do it. You've stretched the definition of the word invasion to the point where it's fucking meaningless.
This is a serious problem. And the governor is now filing a lawsuit against the president. What a joke. Do your job, man. That's what I tell Gavin Newsom.
It's a joke to file a lawsuit against the president when he is illegally federalizing the National Guard. It was a day of protest at the time, and then when Trump escalated it, now it's gotten more violent and gone on longer. So he said, as you heard, Gavin Newsom should be tarred and feathered. Gavin responds, good to know we're skipping the arrest and going straight to the 1700s-style forms of punishment. A fitting threat given the GOP wants to bring our country back to the 18th century. That is fucking accurate as well. Holy shit.
Accurate.
So Trump's rapid response team said, Gavin Newsom claims President Trump is traumatizing our communities by taking criminal, illegal immigrant killers, rapists, gangbangers, drug dealers, human traffickers, and domestic abusers off the street. Then he responds, was the 4-year-old the gangbanger? Was the pregnant woman the rapist? We go after serious violent criminals in California.
Yep, and see, this is, once again, this is what I'm telling you. So what the right does to the left is the right goes, what, you like gangbangers? Oh, you like rapists? Oh, you like drug dealers? Oh, you like traffickers? Like, because they want you to be quiet. They don't want you to be loud. Please, if there's one fucking thing I can ask of you guys, get louder. Stop letting these fucking people talk to you this way. Tell them they're fucking, that, like, the garbage, that they're wrong, that they can fuck off. I was just playing a game the other day with my buddy, a game of disc golf. And there's this fat motherfucker with a "Don't Tread on Me" hat. He's behind us. My buddy's a loud dude. And he's a lot louder even when I'm there, right? And so we're having a good conversation, making fun of MAGA, talking about how much of a fucking cult they are. And we're talking real fucking loud. And when you look over, and this fucking dude's fat-ass father, too, and his fat-ass mom, all three of the fat motherfuckers, diabetic as fuck, looking like they're about to lose all their access to insulin. Still gonna eat at Chick-fil-A. They don't care. Sitting there. They look mad. But you know they didn't say a goddamn thing? You know why? Because you fat and I'm in shape. You don't want that smoke. And at the end of the day, I'm that person, man. I don't give two shits. You want to wear the hat? I don't need a fucking hat. I'm just me. I just say that shit loud and fucking proud. Ask my wife. I'm happy to be me. I don't need a hat. I don't need a gang. Fuck a gang. I'm a posse. Get loud. Stop letting these fuckers, like, fucking shout you down. Stop letting these fuckers get you to self-analyze and be critical of yourselves. You should be, but not because of these people, but because the shit you think matters. Because morally, you want to be better than these people. So I'm not saying don't analyze your own behaviors. I'm not saying don't criticize the people within your own party. What I'm saying is, stop letting these people be the impetus for why you do it. Because they don't deserve your respect. They don't deserve your empathy. They don't deserve your politeness or your etiquette. You don't want to hear me making fun of fucking cult members? Walk the fuck away. Because I ain't going to stop. I'm going to make fun of you. And I'm going to laugh really fucking loud. Because I laugh so loud. I laugh with my whole chest.
California. That's not what you are doing. Then we also have Stephen Miller, the sanctimonious asshole Stephen Miller. He says, didn't have a problem. Your state is a criminal sanctuary for millions of illegal alien invaders. By the way, let me just pause here to point out. The reason why sanctuary cities exist is so that an immigrant who's here in an undocumented way, if they see a crime, they can call the cops to get the criminal arrested. If you don't have a sanctuary city, the immigrant is not going to call the cops because they think if I call the cops, they might deport me. So you can see a fucking murder or a robbery or any of a number of crimes and go, I ain't getting involved because I don't want to get fucking deported. Yep. But if you protect them in a sanctuary city, you will end up getting more actual criminals. That's the whole point of a sanctuary city, you fucking jackasses. So if you actually believe in law and order, being tough on crime, you would support the idea of a sanctuary city.
No, I saw you, Diane.
Oh my God.
I saw you on
Didn't
there.
have a problem. Your state is a criminal sanctuary for millions of illegal alien invaders, cartel killers, foreign terrorists, transnational gangs, and insurrectionist mobs. Huge swaths of the city where I was born now resemble failed third world nations. A ruptured, balkanized society of strangers. When our courageous ICE officers fighting to rescue your communities came under violent, organized attack, you and the LA mayor left them unforgivably to fend for themselves. When the rioters swarmed, you handed over your streets willingly. You still refuse to arrest and prosecute the arsonists, seditionists, and insurrectionists. This administration is fighting to save the city and the citizens you have left to struggle and suffer.
I'll make Gnome Doan to moderate.
So he responds,
see if it happens to him.
The only people defending insurrectionists are you and Trump, or are we pretending like you didn't pardon 1,500 of them? It's true. I don't want to hear a fucking word from you guys. Insurrectionist. You literally pardoned
Exactly.
them. Over 400 of them were violent. Over 100 of them literally assaulted cops. You pardoned all of them. One of them went on to be a fredophile, by the way. Another one went on to kill somebody in a drunk driving accident. These are criminals. Don't talk to me about anti-Semitism. You guys pardoned somebody who was wearing a Camp Auschwitz hoodie. I don't want to fucking hear it. I don't want to hear it. And Stephen Miller was the guy yelling at ICE officers.
There you go, Kyle. There you go, Kyle. Yeah, I can see you, Diane. I can see you. I can see you. Everybody say hi to Diane that can see her. If you can see Diane's chat, say hello to her.
Why
Get mad, Kyle. Yell at these motherfuckers.
are you only going after criminals? Don't do that. Go after the people at the Home Depot and the people at the 7-Eleven and the hair salon and the school and here and there. We want 3,000 deportations a day, baby. We can't just go after the criminals. We're already through all the criminals. So, by the way, I crunched the numbers on this. There's already been, you ready for this? Under Trump, there's already been 100,000 ICE arrests. 100,000. Did you know less than 1% of the immigrant population are violent criminals? 1%. Less than 1%. In total, the number is 10,000 or fewer. Violent criminal undocumented immigrants. 10,000 or fewer. They've already arrested 100,000. There are 10,000 or fewer violent undocumented immigrants in this country in total. So that means 90,000 people, no criminal record, completely innocent. They're fucking with...
Yeah, and every study that they've done so far on all the people that have been deported has shown, like, without a doubt that what he's saying is true. That the majority of people that have been deported from this country have either no criminal record or they have, like, fucking tickets. And once again, if you support that shit, you're a garbage-ass human being. And I hope one day your ass gets deported too. Also, I hope you get Ebola in your dick.
With them, they're ruining their lives. As we know, they've deported young American citizens, a 2-year-old, a 4-year-old, a 6-year-old. The 4-year-old had cancer. They arrested a woman immediately after she gave birth. They arrested a U.S. Marshal because he was fucking Hispanic.
Yes,
what are we doing
did.
here? Oh my
yes,
God.
They
Jesus
did.
Christ, dog. And I got one more for you. So Governor Newsom's press office, they've been going hard in the paint. So Trump keeps saying all these things which literally sound like evil comic book villain shit. And so they've now turned that into a meme where now you're going to see this is like what Trump has been saying mixed with like Star Wars, the evil emperor from Star Wars saying it. Watch.
We made a great decision in sending the National Guard to deal with the violent, instigated riots in California. If we had not done so, Los Angeles would have been completely obliterated. The very incompetent governor, Gavin Newsom, and Mayor Karen Bass should be saying, "Thank you, President Trump. You are so wonderful. We would have been nothing without you, sir." Instead, they choose to lie to the people of California and America by saying that we weren't needed and that these are peaceful protests. Just one look at the pictures and videos of the violence and destruction.
You know he doesn't even write this
tells
shit.
you all you have to know. We will always do what is needed to keep our citizens safe, so we can together make America great again.
They're cooking them. Because the bottom line is this.
Damn.
None of this would be happening if you weren't doing illegal, unconstitutional ICE raids where ICE is acting as Trump's Gestapo, violating so many laws, no due process, no habeas corpus, fucking Nazi tattoos showing, gators over their face, regular plated cars, going into workplaces. By the way, what happened? I thought, the lazy immigrants are taking all the welfare, and that's why we're raiding all of these workplaces where they're at work. Spare me. Spare me. We're done with this. Stop the illegal raids and stop them now. By the way, there's already been an article, I believe it was an NBC News, where they said, they're making it harder to do these raids now. It's more difficult now. Good! That's the point.
Fuck 'em.
That's the fucking point.
Fuck them.
So yes, the fascists overreached. They crossed the line. The public snapped.
Yep.
The public's out in the streets. They're not stopping. They're surrounding the ICE federal building saying, release these people now, because those are innocent people that are part of a community. None of this would be happening if they weren't going full fucking fascist and taking innocent people and ruining their lives. Spare me. If you were just deporting violent, criminal, undocumented immigrants, none of this would be happening. None of this would be happening. As I said, there's 10,000 or fewer of those in the country. Nobody's got a problem. Okay, yeah, you want to send those? Go ahead. Every administration does that. That's not fucking novel. You're way above and beyond that. Why? Because they are, in their heart of hearts, white nationalist. Understand that.
Stephen Miller's
Understand
ass.
that. That's 100%
what they are. Is. 100%.
And that's why they'll stop at nothing to do mass deportations, even though they know they're getting all these innocent people. They are destroying this country day by day. Finally, somebody is fighting back, but he needs reinforcements.
Let's
For the
go.
love of God. I know
Let's
Chuck
go.
Schumer is useless. Can you fucking stop being humiliating for one day? Can Hakeem Jeffries stop being humiliating? Can any Democrats? Like what? Oh, you think, it's a states issue, so I'm staying out of it. The man is deploying the U.S. military in the streets of the United States. This is not just a state issue. This is about democracy. This is about checks and balances. This is about having a country that's not a fascist authoritarian hellhole. Speak up now. Hey, y'all, do me a favor and like and subscribe. It helps out big.
There you go, my man Kyle. He's saying the shit I'm saying. Me and Kyle, we might not always be on the same page on everything, but we're on the same page about this shit. And that is, this wouldn't be happening if it was just, hey, you're trying to get rid of criminals. Hey, like, you're going about this in a way where people aren't getting snatched off the streets by people with masks that most of them ain't even fucking probably ICE people. Like, the problem that is going on right now is that you're being lied to. You're being told that this is for the betterment of society. And the reality is these people are doing it for their own fucking reasons. And that's to keep you where you are. Oh, they're opening up jobs. They're opening up shitty fucking jobs for you to do because that's where they want you. They want you stuck in that shit. They don't want you to have time to think. They don't want you to have time to protest. They want you busy working so that way you don't realize that these fucking billionaires are carving out somewhere in this country to do whatever the fuck they want. That's why there was a fucking stipulation in Trump's big dumbass bill that there shall be no regulation of AI for 10 years by the states, because they don't want you knowing what they're about to do to you. Thanks for watching. If you like this video, please like and subscribe and hit that notification bell, and check out that video on the screen now.